Hi, today I'm presenting an analysis, a harmonic analysis of Girl from Ipanema. Now you will find lots of different analyses in either on YouTube or through different documents, PDFs, etc. And I've looked at several of those, and I think I've chosen the one that seems the most logical. And it is actually quite straightforward, quite simple. I saw some very complicated analyses, which I spent quite a bit of time on, and I managed to understand them. But at the end, actually, I came across one analysis which I think is the most convincing of all of them. And this one, you can see in the picture here, actually, this is the analysis where we start the song in C major. Okay, now a lot of people played the song in F, but I thought that this, I've already made a video actually to a tutorial of Girl from Ipanema in C, and C is usually a good key to do analysis in. So the song starts in the key of C, so it goes through quite a few key changes. You've got C, it starts with C, this is the home key, and then it goes to C sharp, all major, and then it goes to E major, and then it goes to F, so this is like a minor third up, and then a minor second up to F major, and then it goes back to C. And this is what we're going to be looking at. Okay, so let me play the first part. I'm going to go to and put up a picture of section A. Okay, section A, I've simplified it here so that we don't get too much into the intricacies of chords, but it's fairly accurate. So you start with a C, either it's a C 6/9 or a C major 9, whatever, you know, it's a C major. This is a D7, or a D dominant. It's a major. Normally in the key of C major the D is a minor chord, but it is very common in bossa nova or in jazz to have this chord as a dominant chord, as a major chord with the seventh. Okay, so there's nothing special here. D minor, this is a D minor 9, like a D minor 7, okay? This is a C sharp 7 or C sharp 9, okay? And then we go back to this. Now what is this chord? This chord actually, it's like having the G7 here, but it is the famous tritone substitution. Okay, so if you want to know what is the tritone substitution for this 5 chord here, okay, it's very simple. On the guitar you go up to the 4th and then it's sharp 4. Okay, so the tritone of G is C sharp. Okay, so all you need to do is substitute the G chord, the G dominant chord, with a C sharp chord, and you get a very similar effect actually, but it's a very nice substitution. And then you go back. Okay, same thing. Instead of going back to G, you can go back to this tritone substitution. Okay, so I'll play that again. If you can follow in the picture, I think that would be quite helpful actually. So C major 7, pa 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 pa. Okay, so this is section A, and it's fairly straightforward. Actually, there's nothing special here. The complexity comes later, actually, in the second section, and I'm going to go to the next slide. Okay, so here we have a modulation. It is a clear modulation to just half a step up, to C sharp. Okay, C sharp major 7. But I watch her so sadly. Now what's happening here actually, you've got like a C, it's a C major, and I'm going to the 4 of that. Okay, imagine you're playing the blues or something like that, you're playing the C sharp, and then you go to the F sharp, and this is what's happening here actually. But I watch her so sadly. Now normally this this 4 should be a major 7, but once again it is quite common in jazz to substitute the major 7 here with the 7 and give a little bit of color. It's quite bluesy actually, if you think about it. So this is what Jobim is doing here actually, going simply from 1 to 4, and the 4 is the 7th dominant chord, okay? Now what's happening next is very interesting, because I said that we're moving to the key of E. Okay, so let me play this with an E, which is not what is written on the sheet. So I'll start again. Pa 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 pa. Pa 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 pa. Okay, so I'm playing the E major 7. I could play it like this if I wanted to, but okay, I'm playing it in a simple pa 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 pa. Now what happens is that Jobim has made a choice here. Instead of playing the E major, he's playing the relative minor. Okay, as simple as that. So he's gone to 6, which is a relative minor, and he's playing a C sharp minor 9. That's all. So it looks complicated, but that's all it is. We are modulating to the key of E, but instead of starting on the 1, he's actually starting on the 6. But these two chords are relative minor. The relative minor of this one chord is very close in sound and quality to the one chord. Okay. Sorry, na na. So this is the 4. If we're thinking about E, we go to A7 is the 4, but we didn't start from E. If you remember, we started from the relative minor, but it's the same thing. Okay. And then he does the same thing, but one semitone up. So now we are modulating. We were in the key of E, we're going to the key of F. Okay. But he's doing the same thing. Instead of using the F and then going to the 4, he's going to the relative minor of F, and the relative minor of F is a 6, is a So really, when you think about it, you've got 3 successive 1 to 4, 7, starting in C sharp, in E, and in F. Okay, these 3 different keys. Okay, so I'll play that again. And now we go back to the key of C. Okay, and instead of going back to the 1, for example, we go back to the 3. E minor. Okay, and we are tonicizing now, so we want to go to the D minor. Okay, to do a 2-5-1 and finish the song, but we, instead of going directly from the E minor to the D minor, we are going through the 5 of the D minor, which is an A7, which I've indicated here. It's in column 6 here on this picture, and I've put a little S because I put a secondary dominant to indicate that this is a secondary dominant of the D minor 7. Okay, so he could have gone from E, but he decided actually to go from E through the dominant 7 of the D minor, and then go to the D minor, and then go to the G, and then back to C. But you can see how we've gone back to the key of C. I'll play that again. so sadly. How can I tell her I love her? Yes, I would give my heart gladly. But each day when she walks to the sea, she looks straight ahead, not at me. Tall, and then here we play something very similar to section A. Tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking. And when she passes, I smile, but she doesn't see. She doesn't see. So there's nothing special about the end, huh? Okay, and that's it. Actually, this is the analysis. Now, some people will complicate things a little bit when we get just before when we get to this chord here. Okay, so we are. Now, some people will say, okay, this is a B flat 7, and it looks very much like a B flat 9 if we put a B flat 9. And if you look at the B flat 9, it looks like an F minus 6, really quite very close, F minus 6, which means actually we might be already in the key of C. And you know that the 4 of C, the F is very often actually turned into minor. Let me play you. Major minus 6. Okay, so some people might think actually, or might say in the analysis, that when we are playing this chord here, this chord here, we are in essence roughly, you know, like B flat minor or an F minus 6, and we're going to the E minor in the same key. Huh? Okay. And you can complicate things further by saying that this B7 actually is the back door. Okay, it's called the back door to the C. And you often have a thing that goes. This is a backdoor 251 in a way. It's not really, strictly speaking, a 251, but you could see it as a 2. And this is going to resolve into a C through the back. This is the back door. Okay, that's what it's called. And it's often called a 7 flat 7, because it is actually, if you take the 7th degree, which is a B, and you flat it, and you put the 7th on it, you get the back door chord to C. So often this is approached from the 2 back door C. Sometimes it is approached actually from the as it is in the song Misty, for example. Can you see that? So this is another approach to the back door through the 4 minor. Okay. Here we are approaching it differently, but it could be a back door. It doesn't matter actually whether we are already in the key of C or we get to the key of C when we play the E minor. It doesn't really matter. So that's the analysis. Actually, you can look at it. It's not an exact science. You will notice, because there are so many analyses around, you can see that people look at songs and chords in sometimes very different ways. So, for example, there is a complicated analysis which is all based on virtually all backdoor sequences. And the key changes are not the ones that I've shown here. They are different key changes because they are looking at the different resolutions as backdoor resolutions, as opposed to 1/4, for example, sequences here. Okay, so that's a little bit too complicated. If people want to know about other complex analyses, let me know, and I'll try and do a video on those. But I think this is the best analysis that I have seen so far of Girl from Ipanema. It is clear. There are, of course, several key changes. We change into 3 different keys other than the C major. And for me, it's very logical, actually, extremely logical analysis. So there you are. Best of luck.